Hi youth, how are you? Miss you. It's your girl Emily. How's it going? I am gonna do our little Devo. Calvin called it Diva Devos. So we're gonna do our little Devos on Psalms 37:4. And if you know me, you know that I have it tattooed on my arm. And that verse is, take delight in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. When I was 18, I got that tattooed on my arm. And that meant something completely different to me then than it does to me now. So funny story, actually. Basically what that verse had meant to me when I was 18 was that God is my personal genie, and that if I do A, B, and C, then he's gonna give me whatever I want. For those of you who have a relationship with Jesus, you know that that's not the case, and he is not this genie that you can just call upon whenever you want something. So that is basically how I led my life for the next couple of years, is just basically if I pray, if I read my Bible, and if I'm a kind person, then he's gonna give me my Prince Charming, is what I had wanted. It wasn't until I grew and I matured a little bit that I actually understood what that verse meant. So we're gonna break it down a little bit and we're gonna talk about what that verse means, because it's so easy to take a verse in the Bible and put it to what you need and what you want, and pick and choose things and fit it to exactly the season of life that you're in. So we're gonna break it down. So taking delight, that means taking pleasure into something, and something that is pleasing to you. So some people, not naming names, take delight in TikTok. You know, we spend hours on it, we spend tons of time on it, it pleases us, and we like it, and we take delight in TikTok. So that'll put it into perspective for some of you what that means. When you take delight in the Lord, you get filled by him and you get excited to spend time with him. Just like you get excited to go for walks with your friends. You get excited to hang out with your friends. You take delight in your friends. When you take delight in the Lord, you enjoy spending time with him, and you enjoy digging into the word and chatting with him. So when I take delight in the Lord, he will give me the desires of my heart. So what I had thought that meant when I was 18 was, great. So I'm gonna pray, and then I'm gonna ask you to give me a boyfriend. And then I was frustrated and I was shocked when he didn't give me a boyfriend. And that just didn't set me up for success, and it set me up for failure. So we did the taking delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Let's tackle that piece, because that's an important bit. When you spend time doing something and you enjoy doing it, you start embodying it. So for example, when you meet a new group of friends, you start hanging out with them, you start having inside jokes, you all talk the same, you all laugh about the same things, you all have the same interests. You start looking like a group of friends, and you start embodying each other. And that's just the way it works. Families do that, boyfriends and girlfriends do that. You always do that when you get into a new interest that you enjoy. You start embodying that interest. And so that's what we need to do with Christ. And that's what this verse means, is it's wanting you to embody Christ, and it's wanting you to have the heart of God. And when you have the heart of God, you can finally get to live your most authentic life in honoring God. So my desire was to meet the love of my life, but that didn't happen because my heart was not aligned with God's, and I didn't have the heart of God. So God isn't going to give me this thing that honors him and that is Christ-like when I'm not even being Christ-like and my life is not aligned with him yet. So until I had the heart of God and my desires were aligned with him and embodying him, that's when he gave me the desires of my heart. But funny thing is that my desires weren't, I want a boyfriend, weren't, I want a big house and I want to be rich and famous. They were actually the same desires that Christ had for me. So when you align yourself with Christ, you align your desires with him, and you align yeah, you align with Him, which is so cool, because before you do all of that, you have all of these big dreams and these big ideas, and those dreams and ideas don't change, they just become secondary, and they become secondary to your relationship with Christ. So next time you read Psalms 37:4, I want you to think about that, and I want you to think about what your desires are right now and what God's desires are for you. And if they are different, then we've got some work to do, and you need to dig into the Word and check why. Check your heart, because you need to figure out why your stuff isn't aligning with God and how you can get your stuff to align with God. So that's your homework, is check yourself before you wreck yourself and figure out how to align yourself with Christ. All right, thanks, youth. Bye, see you later. Oh, I hit the thing.